Today, we head back in the Ghost via the Transalta Trail for an overnight trip in my stock 2004 Forester. With the primary goal of scouting and finding a camping spot, we won't be encountering any crazy terrain this time. Although, we will still be doing a bit of off-roading and encountering some fun trails along the way. And, in the end, it will be worth it as we camp on the side of the mountain with some great views of the valleys below and stay warm with our diesel heater. Join us as we explore Ghost and what it has to offer. What is up and welcome back everyone. Today we're back in beautiful Ghost. Check this out. Last time we were here, we were doing a little bit of off-roading pretty much in the snow, and then when we were out at Lost Knife and stuff, we were actually out that way. So we haven't been out here in the Transalta road since we did that river crossing stuff, and actually my first real big off-road adventure with the Forester. Today we're gonna not be doing some off-roading, more just some camping, because well, this setup you see right here, it's gonna be changing in the next couple of videos, so I thought we'd do one last camping trip like this. It's actually supposed to get pretty cold, I think like around 0, so we're gonna put the diesel heater to 1 test before we put it away for the summer camping, before we have to take it out back for the winter. So it's a weekday, it's super quiet, and it's not raining. It might rain tonight, it might not, we'll have to see what happens, but I'm gonna air down the Forester and we can head off and try to find a good spot to camp. Well, we aired down our all seasons to what I feel comfortable with without destroying the sidewall. So not very much because these are really old all seasons. And now we've got the open road ahead of us. So let's go and see what we can find down there. The first part of the trail is a gravel road. Well, I use the term road lightly. That takes you from the private land to crown land. Although we did this road in the winter, I don't remember it being half as bad, to the point where I couldn't go over 10 kilometers an hour without shaking the car apart. Once you make it through the gravel road, you are onto the trail and into the crown land. Where it was flooded in the winter has now dried up and turned into a small creek where others were camping. The road now, on public land, continued up the mountain, but this time not with washboards, but with pretty good sized holes. The gravel road came back on the ridge line, but we weren't on it for long, as I quickly took a side trail that snaked through the mountainside. While this trail was smaller, it was in arguably a better condition, or at least a bit more fun than the gravel road. Till we got to some ruts filled with water. After taking a look at the ruts, I decided that I was going to send it and get the Forester through. I hoped that I would be able to run on the sides and not right down the center. But I was wrong. Because of the slick conditions, I slid down into the ruts. And now with the exhaust and the rear diff dragging, I pushed through and made it. Now, coming along the ridge, I saw the first potential camp spots that were filled, so onwards I went. After stopping at like maybe 5 potential campsites, I think I found the one but I'm just gonna do a quick walk up this trail here to see what I can find. And if I can't find anything, because I see there's a tent right there, so maybe there's someone over there. So I'll park my car here. So this is potentially where we're staying, right here. And look at that view. Let me tell you, it's a pretty good camp spot, but I just want to check and see what's over in that general direction. So we're gonna do that. Well, I took my little walk over that way, and I didn't really find anything. There's that one truck over there. It really starts to flatten out and get like really wide open past him. So definitely not going that way in case the wind picks up. We got a nice little coverage here. We got some trees, and if the wind's blowing that way, we got nice coverage, and if it's blowing that way, we've got pretty good coverage. And then over there is not so great, but that way I'm kind of doubting it. But yeah, so it's time now to set up the tent and set up camp. I have one cool little surprise that I actually got for hiking, but it's also great for this, so I'll show you guys that. And then we'll start a fire and make some food. But check out this view. It was totally worth it. My drive was a little sketchy. Definitely scraped the subframe a little bit, but not too worried, and we should be good to go. So let's set up camp. If you've been here a while, you already know what kind of rooftop tent I got and how I got it set up, so should be up in it. You may notice something's a little different. I spun the car around. So it turns out that the way I wanted the ladder to go out that way, and for some reason I thought it was on the wrong side. But I know it's on the passenger side, because if you put it on the passenger side and you ever need to open your tent in like a city, it opens to the sidewalk, not to the street. So I don't know what I was thinking, but we just quickly got it turned around and set up. If you notice, also got the diesel heater up there. We'll start that up a little bit later, because as I said, it's supposed to get down to 0. Not a summer thing, but I just want to give it one last try before we put it away for our summer trips. But next thing is going to be putting up my hammock. So I got a hammock for hiking. It's super lightweight, like canvas one, and it's nice to have when you're like at the summit or something. You put up a hammock and then you can kind of just sit there. But it's also great for overlanding. So I'm gonna hang it on the side of my roof rack, because that's super duper strong, and then that tree, and we'll be good to go. And look at that, the sun even decided to come out for the last couple hours of daylight. It's already 7, so I should probably be making food soon, but I just want to show you guys that we got the hammock set up. I may or may not, I forgot to bring some paracord. So that's a tow strap or a recovery strap right now. It works, it's like really nice to sit on, and it has a nice little height to it, but I should have definitely brought some paracord, because yeah, that's my recovery strap on that side. And without further ado, I think it's time to cook some food. So we're going with the classic ramen and some meat and some other stuff. Toss it in there and you got a good little meal. I didn't bring the table. Usually we have that table that comes out. I actually didn't bring it this time, and the grill is right in the Forester, and I don't think it's really heating up anything, so I'm not too concerned with that. But yeah, we're gonna cook some food, and then I think after that we'll go ahead and maybe start the fire. It's so nice being out here at 7:17 right now and still having light. I remember in my first trip, my winter camping trip, if you haven't watched those, I definitely recommend those. I literally went first time winter camping in this rooftop tent, and it was pretty much a huge windstorm, so that was always fun. But it's so nice having some daylight when you actually arrive and you can cook food, because when we went camping then, we had no daylight. We literally were cooking in the dark, and it got dark. It was dark for 14, 16 hours. It was a little sketch, but this is a lot better. It's a lot more relaxing. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, enjoy some food, and then we'll probably have some fire and maybe explore the area a bit more. So we finished up dinner. We had a little bit more sunlight, and then I had to put on the coat because, well, as soon as that sun's gone, the temperature's starting to drop. I actually checked the weather because I do have a little bit of service out here, and it says it's gonna be -2. So perfect temperature to try out that heater and see what it does. But besides that, I got a little more photos, videos recorded, and I'm actually now just working since I do have service and it's not freezing cold out here. And I can't complain. This is a pretty good place to work. The sun doesn't go down till 10 now in the summer, so we got lots of light. It's like It's 9 right now, so I might work for another half an hour, and then we can get a fire and see if we can get any sunset, because I am not going to be shooting some star photos today or astrophotography because it's all cloudy and that won't help. So maybe next time. We're still actually a little while from sunset. I think we're about 20 minutes, but the temperature is definitely decreasing quite a bit. I should have brought a hoodie. I brought a big coat and I brought another pair of like long johns and stuff, but I didn't bring another hoodie. Should have did that. Anyways, I think now since the sun's setting, we're gonna go ahead, set up a fire. I think I'm gonna use this fire pit right here. Oh, right here. There's so many fire pits around here. Like there's one a little bit farther down. There's one in the trees over there, there's one there, but I think I'll use the nice close one because it's all set up and it's really nice and ready to go. So I'm gonna chop some wood and hopefully get a fire going before the sun sets in about 20 minutes. I really hope I can start a fire in 20 minutes. Well, it's got a little bit darker since that last clip. As you could tell, I was able to start a fire with no problem. I just had to split the wood. I really need to bring a full-size axe. My hatchet just isn't cutting it anymore, especially with some of these bigger logs. I noticed that the wind started picking up and it actually cleared the sky right out in front of us. So now that the sky's clear, I might be able to do some astrophotography. I don't know, it's already 11, and as you can tell, it's still light out. So I don't know when it gets actually fully dark out here, so we'll see. I might play around with the diesel heater in a little bit, but we got the fire roaring nice and warm, got some really dry wood. This is really nice compared to the wood I was using this winter, so that's good. And then, as I said, wind's picking up, but we're in a perfect spot. The wind actually isn't even touching the tent. It's kind of going around on this peninsula, which is great, and there's a car driving by over there. And one last little update, I got my Coleman propane light. This thing throws out so much light. I wish I could find this winter, but I found it this spring, so we now have a really nice light source. So that's what we're using to light a lot of this. As the sun continued to set across the valley, the band of light still rested out east. The only thing that could be heard for miles was the crackle of the fire and the breeze blowing beneath me. Well, we're in the tent, and as you can see, the lights work really well, guys. I really think this was like an awesome, I think it was like maybe $20. But anyway, since these lights are working really well, I also got my headlamp and I got the lantern outside. It's time to go ahead and see if we can fire up that diesel heater. It's only right now, it's still 7 actually, which is really warm, especially when I have my really cold sleeping bag still. I haven't switched over to the summer sleeping bag. But I'm seeing it's still getting down to about -2. So that's plenty enough to fire up the diesel heater and keep my batteries warm at least. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if it's gonna fire up. So wish me luck. I had to reboot the thing after it gave me a low voltage thing, but now it seems to be holding steady at 8.8, 8.7, and it's ramping up right now. So I think we might have it. We'll see. Nope, rip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it on my car. Well, it only took firing up my car to fire it up, but I definitely got to invest in a proper battery pack because the battery booster just has like that quick power. It just can't keep it for long. Well, you can probably hear it. The diesel heater is going. I just have it on max to warm up, and as you can tell, it's pretty warm. I'm just wearing a t-shirt in here. I wasn't able to, or I tried to do some astrophotography, but the issue was it is 12:37 and we still have that ring of light on the side. So no real astrophotography, a couple things here and there, but nothing too major. Also, the diesel heater will not be running all night because as soon as I shut off my car, that cigarette outlet, the 12 volt, actually turns off. I don't have any constant 12 volt power, I guess, in the Forester, which, I mean, isn't a big deal because -2, I've got a -30 sleeping bag, I'll be fine. So I was just worried about the batteries, but I'm just kind of warming up the tent a little bit, and then I'm gonna throw my snow pants and my coat on top of it just to keep it warm through the night, because those will probably maintain some heat throughout the night. So I'm not too worried about any of my batteries, and yeah, I'm gonna let this diesel heater run for a little bit more and then call it a night. So see you guys in the morning. And good morning, guys. Check this view out. It's like 8:30 right now, so I did get enough sleep, but just because the sunlight came up, it came up at like 5:30 or something crazy, so you had to sleep through the light, which is fine because I have my sleeping bag that covers my mouth. But we didn't get any rain. Thought we might, but we didn't. I had a nice little sit at the top of the tent with the window open, got a great view, and fired up that diesel heater so I could warm up my tent and enjoy this wonderful view here. Now I'm just cooking some breakfast, and then I think we're gonna decide. I think I might want to walk down this trail down here and see what's down at the river. I think it's like a kilometer or something, so that might be a fun little adventure before we head back for the day. Okay, so here's the plan. I checked the weather. It says 80% chance of rain in like 15 minutes. Don't know where it's gonna come from, but better than being safe than sorry. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pack up the tent now and then go down to the river and see what's down there. So what I'm doing is I'm running the diesel heater just to get any condensation or moisture out of the tent, which is actually, that's the best way to do it. I love this. It makes it so much easier. So I'm just running that for a little bit, packing up all my stuff, bringing it in the car, and then we'll put the tent away and we should be pretty much good to go. So there we go. It's all packed up. Everything's packed up and in the car. So I think it's time to head down there. So yeah, let's go take a walk, and then hopefully it won't rain. I'll probably bring my shell just in case, but I don't think it's gonna rain because it was supposed to rain now 15 minutes ago, so we'll see if it rains or not. Some of the clouds are looking dark that way, but I think we're good. So let's go for a walk.
With only 100 meters of vertical over a couple kilometers, the little adventure was a nice walk through the forest. What started out like a vehicle track quickly became only wide enough for an ATV, but made a nice beeline to the river. On the riverside, there was a sharp drop-off with no real access to the river, but it did have some nice views of the river below. As the wind started to pick up and roll in a storm, I decided it was time to probably head back to the car.
Well, we made it back up to the hill and I turned the Forester around for a last little bit of photos here, but I think it's time we head back on the road and back to civilization. This was a really good spot, really good camping trip, really good little bit of adventuring, nothing too hardcore because, well, the Forester isn't ready for that yet, but I really enjoyed the spot, and maybe I'll have to come back here sometime in the weekday again because I know on the weekend it's going to be crazy. So let's go back.
The drive back was pretty uneventful as we cruised along the gravel roads on the ridge, and to my surprise, it was actually quite smooth. Until we got back to the start, where it was back down to 10 kilometers an hour.
Well, we made it back to the trailhead where it all started. I've aired up my tires so we can go drive back on the road, but I think this is where we're going to end it today for our off-road kind of overlanding adventure. So that was our last overlanding adventure with this stock setup. So more mods coming to you soon, so get ready for that. And if you're looking forward to them, let me know down below. Also, let me know if you want to see more types of adventures, or what do you want to see for adventures. Maybe we'll do some multi-day stuff, maybe some more overlanding, some off-roading. Be sure to let me know down below, because I'm always making content that you guys will like. So that's going to be it for today. So as always, peace out and stay humble.